YouTube, it is Mac98. Today I'm going to do a iPhone 4S review, but before I get into that I'm going to do a few channel announcements. First off, I have 262,166 views as of February 7th and 105 subscribers. Now this is a major milestone for me because as of this time last year I only had about 25,000 views, and so increasing that many views has been tremendous over the last year. So let's get into the review. First off, there is the actual design of the product. Now this closely resembles the iPhone 4, which I have right here, and I'll do a comparison. So this one has the 3.5-inch 960 by 640 Retina display, still the same size as before. And then the earpiece, the front-facing camera, which is VGA quality, the home button. On the side, there is the first antenna gap, the SIM card slot, the second antenna gap, the sleep-wake button, the second antenna, the 3.5mm headset jack, the vibrate switch, and the volume up and volume down buttons. There also is the third antenna break and the fourth antenna break. Now, compared to the iPhone 4, same display, same earpiece and front-facing camera, same home button. Now, this is the difference. There is the first antenna break, the SIM card slot, no antenna break here. The sleep-wake button, this is where the antenna break is, and then the microphone, headset, vibrate, switch, and there's also a different vibrator in the iPhone 4 than there is the 4S. The two volume buttons, and then there's the third antenna break. Now there also is the microphone, 30-pin connector, and speaker, and the 4S there also is that. Now, the actual design of this is there is a stainless steel band running along the entire perimeter of the phone that also functions as the antenna. Not only does it function as the main structural element of the phone, so that is an amazing design, even though there was some flaw on the iPhone 4, which I actually never noticed on that one. And the 4S, though, has two antennas. There is one right here, this part right here, and then another one up here. These are actually the Wi-Fi, GPS, etc. And then this one's just there to do like uniformity between the design. Now this glass right here and this glass right here is aluminium silicate glass, which is one of the strongest glass on Earth. Also Gorilla Glass. It's similar to Gorilla Glass, but it is not Gorilla Glass. But it is certainly strong, although if you drop it, it will break. So now that I did an overview of the hardware, let's get into the internals. This has a 1 GHz dual-core A5 chip with 512 megabytes of RAM, and also I think it was like a dual-core graphics chip. So this translates into much better performance than the iPhone 4. Now, this also has a 8-megapixel camera, which you can see right there. It has an aperture of 2.4 versus the iPhone 4's 2.8, and certainly takes better pictures. And then you also see the LED flash right there. So that's really the internals, and as I said before, this display is a 3.5-inch 960 by 640 display, which is, I think, one of the highest resolution displays on any phone, but it is no longer the highest resolution. So now as a comparison, this is a 1 GHz single-core processor with 512 megabytes of RAM and a 5-megapixel camera with an aperture of 2.8. So this definitely does take still good pictures, but the 4S is definitely better at that. And this also does 720p video versus 1080p video. So let's get into the software. This runs iOS 5. As you can see, I'm still have the default everything up there. I like keeping it default. And also with this one, it is still default also. So as you can see, they run pretty much the same operating system, but this one also is dramatically faster at games and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to show you some examples of the camera. So this is an example of a camera picture that was taken with the camera, and as you can see, very high quality for a phone camera, and certainly better than some just regular cameras out there, and that's really what Apple was out to do. So that is the camera app. Now I can't really show you very much on here, although I will show you some features of iOS 5, such as notification center, as you can see. I'll just clear my Facebook notifications. And you can see there's the stocks. Here is my school calendar, and also the current weather. You could also see the 5-day forecast. And looks like it's actually going to be pretty good for February weather. Messages I can't really show you. Music. Safari definitely does launch much faster than on anything else. I'll just go to one of my sites, Mac Rumors. As you can see, loads very fast. That could have to do with the fact that I have 802.11g, N router, but also because of the A5 processor. It definitely does help a lot. Now, I'm going to go ahead and switch out of Wi-Fi mode, and I'll do a network test. Speed test. Okay. So this is going to be on 3G. And I will begin the test. Now, the reason why I'm doing this speed test is because I have a iPhone 4S AT&T version exclusive feature. This has HSPA+, which by AT&T's book is considered 4G. Now, as you can see here, I only have about 4 megabits per second down, and normally it's a little bit higher than that, but not very much up. So, and also the my history, as you can see, on my Wi-Fi, I've gotten anywhere from 9 to about 30. Now I think I have Time Warner Cable as my service provider, so it definitely I think they started to throttle down my data speeds because I would use so much. Now, that's pretty much the overview of the iPhone 4S, but there is one more exclusive feature that is really cool on this device, and that's Siri. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run some tests. I'm not going to dial anyone's phone or anything, especially because, as you can see, it's almost 11 at night. I don't want to wake anyone up, but I will do some weather and stuff like that. So, what time is it? As you can see, it's almost immediate response, and
the time is 10:48 p.m.
As you can see, it tells me, do I need a raincoat tomorrow?
It doesn't look like it's going to rain tomorrow.
So Siri does have a very natural sounding voice, especially for a artificial intelligence. But there was one point where I did a restore, and the voice was extremely... It sounded actually almost exactly like what they did in the demo, and that was kind of just like a glitch there, but that soon corrected itself. And I'll do some more of Siri demonstrations. Remind me tomorrow at 7 p.m. I have a doctor's appointment.
Here's your reminder for tomorrow at 7 p.m.
Now, since I don't actually have a doctor's
Shall
appointment,
I create it?
I'm not going to create it. So I'm going to cancel that.
I won't remind you.
Note, I have to upload this video.
Noted.
So, as you can see, Siri notes it. Now, just some minor improvements I've noticed on this phone is that they have definitely improved the speaker for the 4S versus the 4. I'm not going to demonstrate that, though, because of copyright issues. And overall, the phone quality is about the same. I have noticed some crackling in the earpiece, although that I think is just a problem that I'm probably going to have to go back for. Besides that, iOS 5 functions amazing. And really, my only complaint is that there is a small there's a small dead pixel around there. I don't think you can actually see that, but there is a dead pixel there, and that I can just go back for, and it should be fine. So this really concludes the iPhone 4S review. I'm going to go ahead and tell you the models that are available for purchase. Now, this comes in black and white, and they actually finally did a white version that is completely fine, no color issues or light bleeding or whatever the reason why it was delayed. So this comes in black or white, 1632 or 64 gigabytes for AT&T, Verizon, and Sprint. There also is a option for Apple Care Plus, which adds $100 to each of those prices. The 16 gigabyte is $199, the 32 gigabyte is $299, and the 64 gigabyte is $399. Now, with Apple Care Plus, that means the 16 gigabyte is $399. The 16 gigabyte is $299, the 32 gigabyte is $399, and the 64 gigabyte with Apple Care Plus is $499. Now, this is the 64 gigabyte with Apple Care Plus, so this was the most expensive version of the iPhone, and that's why I was kind of upset when I saw the dead pixel, but since I have that extra warranty, I can go back in the store and they can just swap it out for me. Now, another great thing with Apple Care Plus is that you can go in up to twice and they will replace it for a small fee. I think it's $49 if you decide to drop it and it cracks. Obviously, it would be accidental damage only, but this is a great policy, especially because the iPhone is made of two pieces of glass, and I think the policy still remains that the back glass just to replace is $30. I actually do have a white replacement glass that I was sent a while back to put on the back of this phone right here, but I took it off and put the black back on because it looked good. So, I plan on going back for the dead pixel, but it always is good to have that extra warranty in there, especially because of what they've done with Apple Care Plus. So, and also it extends the 1-year warranty to 2 years, and you get 2 years of phone support. One other thing is that they still sell the iPhone 4 for AT&T, Sprint, and Verizon for $99, an 8 gigabyte model. Now, I actually would not recommend getting the 4, and this is why. The single core processor of the A4 is going to show its age in the next few months, and also because 8 gigabytes in 2012, and also you're going to be stuck with that phone for 2 years unless you take someone else's upgrades, which I probably will end up doing for mine. But 8 gigabytes for 2 years is definitely not enough. I had to survive with my 8 gigabyte iPod Touch for 3 years, and I have to say at first it was fine, but as the file sizes got bigger and bigger, and there was more and more stuff to load on it, especially with the camera and all that other stuff, and games sometimes getting up to 1 gigabyte in size, it just starts to not make sense. Now, for what I do, the 64 gigabyte was the best choice, especially because my 64 gigabyte iPad is also filled up. This has about 15 gigabytes free, and that definitely will be used up eventually. So that's really the reasoning behind the reason why I got that one. But I mean, different phones support different suit different people, so just choose whatever you think is best for you. But I would recommend at least getting a 4S for the next 2 years, if you're going to be locked into a contract. So this has been a Mac D98 production. Goodbye.